Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we're just a couple of seconds late tonight. Sorry about that, but my name is Alan Smason. Again, welcome to NOLA Theater Talk. We broadcast on Monday nights, sometimes on time, but usually on time, to the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, my own YouTube channel, and tonight we're going to have a very interesting show about Culture Collision. And for those of you who are out there who are interested in finding out a little bit more about it, stay tuned. They have a lot of people out here with us. So we're going to talk about their particular facets of what they're going to be doing with Culture Collision and what it's all about. But I did also want to let everybody know that if you are interested in having your comments show up with your name, you need to go to facebook.com/StreamYard. The reason why the application we're using, StreamYard, does not automatically allow Facebook users to have their name posted without their permission. So therefore, you must have permission for Facebook to post your name. Therefore, no privacy issues are violated. So that's why we do that, again, to remind you. If not, it's going to show up as a Facebook user and we won't know who you are. Okay, Culture Collision. What in the world is that all about? Here's the guy to tell you all about it. From WWNO, Ron Blava. Is that the proper way to say that, Ron?
It's actually Biava.
Biava. Okay,
Yeah.
I have it wrong. I'll have to respell it for you. Let me do that. Biava, right?
That's right.
Okay. I had your Ron at WWNO. Is that correct? That's that one, right? So that's good. At least I got that. So my problem is that sometimes I can't see, and I apologize that, but I think I've got it right now. There we go. Perfect. So tell me a little bit about Culture Collision. Where did this has been on now? I know it was on at the World War II Museum at one point. It's the CAC at one point, the Ogden Museum, I think the New Orleans Museum of Art, and you can tell me where else this year. And we hope to hear back from one of the people at JPAS, but it's going to be at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center, correct?
That's right. That's right.
So, and for those of you who don't know, again, the brand that we were talking about is Culture Collision. There we are. So for those of you who are not familiar, this is a very worthwhile event. It allows, well, Ron, why don't you tell everybody, it allows different arts entities to display their wares in a sense.
Okay. Culture Collision is a collision of all kinds of cultural organizations. Arts and culture, arts and humanities, music, performing arts. I like to say it can include everything from classical to contemporary, the long established arts organizations to the very experimental ones. And the beauty of it is that all these different kind of organizations can participate. And this year, there's no charge for any organization to have a table. And so it's like a big, well, it's sort of a jumble sale in a sense. Lots of different organizations there to explain to visitors that come at no cost. It's free.
Yeah.
To come in and learn about it. So you can, in one evening, you can enjoy some nice food and drink that's there for you to buy. And you can learn about what's going on at the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra this year. What's going on at the New Orleans Museum of Art? And what is this accordion festival that I enjoyed one year? Or in chamber music. We have Lyrica Baroque is one of the musical organizations that's appearing at Culture Collision this year. So it's a collaborative effort among all the arts and culture organizations in Metro New Orleans. Yeah, a lot in the city, but there are organizations like Jefferson Performing Arts Center from Jefferson, arts organizations from the North Shore. They all come together to introduce themselves. Right. To the theater and arts loving public.
Ron, tell me, you did mention food and drink. Now that's being sold, I assume. You're not giving food and drink away, correct?
No, we're not. No, we're not. Nominal charge.
But nominal charge. Okay. So that brings me up to the question about drinking. because I managed to get a little bit of Courvoisier. That's my drink of choice tonight. As you were supposed to bring in something liquid into the room. So what did you bring in?
I've got a glass of Côte d'Aron. Nice red wine.
Very good. All right, so we're on a wine and cognac start for the night. And again, cheers to you. And let me bring in a couple of other people who are here. Now, I hope to have Amy Kirk-Duvoisin in a little bit later because she's one of our guests that we're looking to see. But and she's from JPAC. But for those of you who don't know, the Jefferson Performing Arts Society, which has been in Jefferson Parish for more than 40 some odd years now, they were named by Jefferson Parish as the management team, if you will, the people who are going to run the Jefferson Performing Arts Center now. And so as a result of that, you've got that beautiful facility. And again, I'll show a picture. Those of you who know where it is, of course, right by Zephyr Stadium. The JPAC is now run by JPAS, and that's where it's going to be. But it's not going to be in the interior stage area that everybody knows and loves, the red seats, etc. It's actually going to be on the outside in the lobby, isn't it? It's more like almost like a fairway, if you will, like a place where you can go from one exhibit to the next, correct?
That's a good way to describe it. Or maybe sort of like Jazz Fest, where you go from one place to another, one stage to another, one food place to another. And there's no set program, except there are performances throughout the evening. And so when you arrive, you'll get a list of all the organizations that are present, and if they're on the first floor or the second floor, and you'll get a schedule of all the performances that you can enjoy throughout the evening. It starts at 5:30 and it goes till 8. And as you said, it's at the new Jefferson Performing Arts Center on, what's it, 6400 Airline Highway.
Correct.
And yes, that's just past the Saints training facility and the stadium formerly known as Zephyr Stadium.
All right, let me bring in another one of the participants. I know Marisa is in the room, Marisa Joseph. We're going to bring you in. Hi, Marisa. How are you?
Hi.
Now, Marisa, would you tell me a little bit about what are you bringing in tonight? What do you have?
Okay, so I got some homemade hooch right here. My dad, he makes homemade wine. So this
Homemade wine. I don't know why, but your voice is a little bit lower than it might be. Are you using earbuds, or you're not? You're not using any earbuds, huh?
I'm not using, no.
Okay. So where's your microphone? Is it near you? Yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, you might want to speak up a little bit. Yeah, let me go ahead and send Amy. Amy just sent me back a notice that she didn't know where her link was, so I'm sending it back to her again. So hopefully she'll be able to get.
Okay.
Anyway, she may or may not be able to make it. We're gonna send it to, but somebody's. Okay, let me see. I'm just trying. I'm gonna send it back again, and let me see. There we go. So tell me a little bit about the organization that you're with. Marisa, can you hear me?
Is this better? Can you hear my voice?
A little bit, but you still sound very far away. But we're gonna try our best there. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Marisa Joseph, also known as the Collision Team, as an independent artist, who also did freelance work on the side. And I said, as a return to the New Orleans art scene, that I really wanted to participate in the organization of the Rebirth of Culture Collision, because I've met and worked with so many artist organizations and partners through teaching dance, that I know for sure Culture Collision is a great incubator and just a spark of an event space for collaborators.
Well, okay. We're not really hearing you very well. I could barely make out like every other word that you were saying. You work with a lot of organizations. You know what you might want to try, Marisa, is maybe I don't know if your internet's slow or not, and it looks like you're freezing up a little bit from time to time. You might want to try, what browser are you using? Firefox or Chrome? Or are you using a phone? You using an iPhone or a Android? Oh, well.
I think I'm on Safari.
Yeah. All right. Well, I tell you what, you might want to try coming back in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get to a couple of other guests because we have a little bit of time to get to, and we'll come back to you. Okay. Let's see. Maybe sometimes reestablishing the connection will work. So I'm going to leave it at that, and just try to come back in a little bit. And I'll try to bring you back in. Okay. All right. In the meantime, let me go ahead and let me bring in Jaren. Hello, Jaren. How are you? Jaren is with Lyrica Baroque, and Jaren, you were one of the founders of Lyrica Baroque, weren't you? Tell me a little bit about what your can you speak up a little bit and say hello?
Hi.
Oh, good. There, I was afraid we were going to have another problem. So you were one of the founding members of Lyrica Baroque, which has been around for a while now. And I've got some beautiful pictures that we'll put up as well. But describe a little bit about Lyrica Baroque, what they do, in terms of what the need was that you think you're meeting, and how you interact with the public.
So Lyrica Baroque is dedicated to building community through chamber music, classical chamber music. And basically, the main thing that we do is we facilitate collaborations. There's so much beautiful, creative work going on in the city, amazing music education programs going on. And we create these really the pictures you're seeing, these really wonderful collaborations to help students who have not been exposed to classical music up close and personally, to get them exposed to classical music and chamber music. And then also kids who are already studying music to help them enhance their musical studies. And basically the whole way that we realize our mission is through collaborations with other organizations doing amazing things. So Culture Collision speaks directly to that. It's just the most, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Can you tell me some of the other members? So in case some other people, because I know that some of them are principal members of the LPO, correct? Yeah, I think you included, right?
That's right. I played principal oboe in the LPO for 11 seasons, and we have LPO players. We have a whole roster of artists that include LPO players, other local musicians, as well as world-renowned artists. So it's really, in that sense, it is also a true collaboration. Not only are we creating artistically rewarding experiences for musicians here in town, but we're also promoting New Orleans as a classical cultural center across the country, which just feels really good and really true to what we are. But I feel like maybe not everyone nationally knows how much great classical music is going on here.
And who do we have there?
Oh, well, that's Miss Sarah Jane McMahon.
Oh, really? Who's that in the room?
Oh, and we're getting ready to collaborate again, really soon.
Tell a little bit about what you're going to be doing. Sarah Jane, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Hi, Jaren.
Do you want to share, Sarah Jane, or do you want me to take it over?
Well, Jaren, you're always so good at speaking. I know you always say you don't like it, but I think she's fantastic at it. I'm so happy I'll be joining Lyrica Baroque for Winterreise, our winter concert. And I'm going to sing Schubert's Shepherd on the Rock. And it's actually the first time that I'm going to perform this work, even though I've heard it so many times and I've always wanted to do it. But it's the first time I'm having the opportunity. So thanks to Jaren, I'll get to sing that in December.
That's fantastic.
And really, what's really exciting is that she's performing that with Chris Pell, who is our former principal clarinetist of the LPO. He's coming back for this really special concert, and it's going to be really something not to be missed.
All right. And do you know the date again, that we can tell everybody one more time?
It's December 15th at Christchurch Cathedral.
All right. So there you go. If you miss it, it's because you didn't write that date down. December the 15th, Christchurch Cathedral. And that's what on St. Charles Avenue, correct?
That's
right. The Episcopal Church where the bishop usually rules the roost, right? So good. All right. Again, Jaren, you got some beautiful pictures there, and I want to bring in a couple more people who are going to be participating. I think, Sarah Jane, thank you for being here tonight. I know you have two little ones who have to be taken care of.
Oh, I have three little ones.
Oh, three. I'm sorry. You're right. You had another one in the interim. COVID got me.
I just came from flag football and took my hair down and put some lipstick on. So.
Well, listen, we wanted to thank you. I thought it'd be wonderful if you could be in here and kind of surprise Jaren.
Yeah, it was fun.
And again, you did. so appreciate that. But I'd like to, if I can go on. I know Marissa's back in, but Ron, and also want to talk to Brittany, who's going to be in right now. So let me let you go, Sarah Jane, and stick around just a little bit longer. Jaren, thank you. All right, thank you so much. All right, bye now.
Good to see you.
All right, take care. That was fun, and
that
now
was fun. Thank you.
Let me go ahead and bring in Brittany Williams. Brittany, you are no stranger to this program because you've been on many times in your guise as the NOLA project. Now you're dealing with the artistic directorship, co-artistic director, right? Is that?
Yes.
So with AJ Allegra, but in the previous iterations that you came in on the show, you came in because you were the reigning stage door idol, which was you gave up that title. Let me tell you, when you gave up that title, you didn't make anybody not know that you were the reigning stage door idol. You had a fantastic version of a wonderful song that I don't think I've ever heard done before, and if I had, it wasn't done as beautifully. You did a fantastic version. So I just have to say that you knocked the socks off of everybody and reminded everybody why you got to be Stage Door Idol 2019 and for 3 years. So you had it for 3 years. Anyway, but in your work with the NOLA project as the co-artistic director, and again, congratulations. I know you've been working on a number of other projects. You've been a published author now, and I mean you've got the baby and the marriage. I mean, there's a whole lot of things, a litany of things that you've been doing and wonderful accomplishments. But please tell me a little bit about why AJ and are participating as co-artistic directors in this culture collision. What's the aspect of what you find you get out of it?
So really, Culture Collision is a great opportunity for outreach for us to basically meet the patrons who we don't necessarily get to see, who come to see our shows, and introduce ourselves to some people who may not know the NOLA project, may not know our work, and who would be interested in seeing some weird and wonderful theater in some interesting venues throughout the city. And it's been so long since we could meet people in person that we're all really looking forward to being able to interface face to face with some potential patrons, some longtime patrons, some folks who may have only followed us for the last year, where we did our 3 productions or so. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. This is my first time going to Culture Collision at all, and especially as in a leadership position with the NOLA project. So I'm really excited to pretty much brag about our company and our folks. It's just a great time.
Well, I'm bringing up a couple pictures here from past Culture Collisions, but now here's some pictures from that was, I believe, the Richard III. What was it? What is it? By Any Scenes Necessary that y'all did?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
so you had a few people from NOLA Project on. There, of course, the wonderful Keith Clavery, and one of these days, one of these nights, Keith and Leslie Clavery will be on this show. They have successfully vended off any kind of request invitations that I've extended. But one of these days, I they're gonna, in a moment of weakness, they'll probably allow me to put them on.
They're so good at so many things. They're always so busy. It's hard to get them.
And look at that. That's another one of your famous actors.
Yeah, Kyrie Armstead.
Kyrie's very good. And again, I know I had I think a picture of another well-known actress. Singer, musical.
I wonder who that could be.
Yes. Anyway, I hope that she's watching. Anyway, we have a lot of people from NOLA Project who are going to be participating. Please tell me a little bit about your season too before I get off, because I want to get back to Ron, and then we're going to go back to Marisa and bring Jaren back in because that's pretty much the extent of it. And I wanted to get everybody in first to talk about their own special aspects of what they're doing, and then maybe have a discussion that we can talk about Culture Collision. But give me a little bit of what your season's going to be for this year, in case anybody hasn't heard.
Yeah, absolutely. So quick rundown. Our first show of the season is The Seagull, or How to Eat It, which is an adaptation of the Chekhov play written by our company member, Gab Reisman, and it is directed by AJ Allegra. That show runs in the Best of Sculpture Garden from October 12th until October 30th. Our next show will be Craigslisted, and that's going to be running at the Marquette Theater at Loyola. Craigslisted is written by the playwright Sheree Bohannon, and it'll be directed by our own Leslie Clavery. And that one runs December 1st to December 17th. After that, we'll be doing the show Everybody, written by Brandon Jacobs Jenkins, and that is an adaptation of the Everyman morality play. And that'll be directed by Shannon Sindelaire, who you may remember directed Men on Boats. And that's running at the Lapis Center, at NOMA. And that'll be running from January 18th until February 12th. So don't worry, it's not going to bump into Mardi Gras. Y'all won't miss anything. And our final show of the season will be a Midsummer Night's Dream. We're bringing that back after it was so popular back in 2011. That will be once again in the Best of Sculpture Garden, written by a little-known playwright known as William Shakespeare, and it will be directed by me.
I've heard of him.
Right,
I think he's
vaguely.
Yeah.
A couple people know him.
He's had a few things out there.
Right.
Again, you're going to be directing that one, and that will be at the expanded Best of Sculpture Garden, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, so. Yeah. Do you know whether or not it's going to be in the old and the new, or just the new section, or do you know? So have you figured out what you're doing?
In the new section, and the Midsummer Night's Dream is going to be in the old section, or Sculpture Garden 1.
So that was where the original Midsummer Night's Dream was, but with the amphitheater, they have the lake, et cetera, that they have the boat come on, et cetera, as I'm not mistaken, in that particular production. I mean, it's hard to believe it's been over a decade. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can bring Ron back in. And Ron, we've got the NOLA project represented, and Marisa come back in a little bit. But is there any other groups besides JPS and NOLA project that are theater production companies
that are coming to Culture Collision?
Yeah. Oh.
I wish I could tell you right off, but if you've got another theater company that comes to your mind, they're probably going to be there.
Well, the reason I ask is that, there are a number of companies. No Dream Deferred is one. Le Petit is one. Rivertown Theaters is one. I mean, there's a number of different production, and I don't know who to expect there.
I know I saw Le Petit on the list, and I bet Rivertown is there. And well, the only one that I know won't be there. It was a surprise to me because I was away much of the summer, but Southern Rep won't be.
Well, yeah, but Southern Rep won't be anywhere for the foreseeable future. That they're pretty much a gone entity. But I do wonder about. I'm trying to think. There was another company that I haven't heard much from lately. I mean, for instance, Voices in the Dark. That are they going to be participating? Do you know? Or
wish I could tell you.
Or Anthony Bean. Any possibility? So. I just trying to get an idea about some of the companies that are out there that might not have a brick and mortar. I
haven't read the website address, so to take a look at all of the participants this year, 2022 participating organizations, culturenola.com.
Culturenola.com. All right, let me see. Marisa, let's see if we can hear you better now. You look good. Let's see if it's still a little bit, All right, so what? Yeah, let me find out. Brittany, what did you bring in the room besides?
I brought in a mule made with Sazerac rye whiskey.
All right, so that's a different take, because normally a mule would be made with like a Moscow mule, right? Would be made with vodka.
Yeah.
So that's
or-
interesting. I like that, a brown liqueur as opposed to a liquid. Yeah, that's where they can. And again, I didn't hear Marisa. Go ahead and tell me again the organization that you're with again, just to reiterate one more time, and speak as loudly as you can because it's very low.
Okay, is this good enough? Can everybody hear my voice?
You better start screaming. Just let me hear you a little bit louder.
Scream! Oh my goodness. Is that better?
A little bit louder than that. We can hear you, but it's like through a tin can right now. So
Oh no, that's not a good thing.
no, we can see you well though. So that's why I said your microphone is not working as where it should. That's good. Okay, so the organization you're with again? Yeah, a little bit, but again, just keep talking.
Okay. So my name is Marisa Joseph, also known as Mojo, and the organization and company that I represent is my own. It's called the Mojo Gallery, and I'm actually doing freelance work for JPAS.
Okay, freelance work for JPAS. So you're kind of representing JPAS tonight. Well, that's good because that leads me into a little bit of a discussion about JPAS before I bring Jaren back in. And that allows me to maybe point out some of the things that JPAS has been doing. I don't know if anybody saw one of the early productions that they did was with Stogie Kenyatta. I don't know if you remember. There's Dennis Asaf, of course, but he did this really wonderful production. I don't know if you got to see it last year. Basically, Paul Robeson was who he was representing, and I'm trying to remember. It was the world. I'm trying to remember the title of it. It's just escaping me right now. But it was basically a tribute to Paul Robeson, and Stogie Kenyatta, the actor, performed this show. He's done it all across the country, but it was just an incredible performance. And one of the early, venues that was open was JPAS. So they're to be credited for opening up early, not earlier than necessary. In other words, it was still within the COVID guidelines, but they did it right from the beginning, and it was really wonderful. And also this past year for the Black History Month, they did Fly, and that was Voices in the Dark repertory, and it was basically directed, if you will, with JPAS, with the director that we have known. I'm trying to remember the names right now, and starting to fade from me right now. But
I actually wish that I do. I just joined the Culture Collision team, specifically focused on the rebirth of Culture Collision.
I got you. So Ron is here. Ron, I don't know if you care to comment a little bit about what Culture Collision has meant to you all these many years, but
Sure.
I just really wanted to give an opportunity before I bring Jaren back in to talk a little bit about the I guess the culture, if you will, of what it's about. And I didn't want to not mention Tommy Myrick. That was the director I was talking about doing Fly, but she did a great job with that. And again, I don't know whether or not they're going to be participating, but I hope that they will, because they're one of the longest. They're not. Well, if they're not, maybe next year. Put it that way.
Yeah. Well, this is a revival of Culture Collision. We haven't done it for 2 years because of the pandemic. And we at WWNO are really grateful that JPAS has stepped up to host and house Culture Collision again, because we didn't have a place to do it. We wanted to do it. And of course, JPAS says, hey, there's a lot of people that have never seen the Jefferson Performing Arts Center, and we'd like them to come. Come take a look and know where it is. So the next time you see a play that you want to go see, you won't have to scratch your heads. Just where is that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that in Baton Rouge or where? No, it's that far away.
And as we bring Jaren back in, it's also all about the arts. So it's not just confined to theater, but also the arts, the classical arts. Now, do you get participation from any opera companies?
Yes.
You do.
Yes, we will have New Orleans Opera there, and I'm not sure, but we certainly have had Opera Creole.
I was going to wonder about them. Yes.
Yeah, and there may be some new groups that I don't even know about yet.
So Marisa Joseph and Opera Creole, possibly Aria if she's up to it. She's had some issues here and there, but
it's a wide range of music and visual art and theater.
And what about dance? Any dance companies?
What's that, Alan?
Any dance companies?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh, please tell me.
Nova will be there, New Orleans Ballet, Dancing Grounds, and I'm going to blank on the others.
It's okay. That's the idea being that this is an opportunity. Jaren,
that's what we call it, culture collision. All these kinds of culture coming together.
So you've been in, how many years have you been involved, or do you recall how long you've been involved with Culture Collision?
Me?
Jaren.
From the beginning. Jaren, how long has it been? 2-3 years?
It has. We only participated one time before, and it was awesome. And I'm just super excited that it's back. I can't wait to see all my friends, but then also make new friends. It feels like we're getting back after COVID, like we're gathering again, and it feels good.
Well, it's been a long 2 years, and I'm thankful that everybody feels like they can venture out. I know that I talked today to one of the people who were giving some information about some of the sales that were going on, and sales have been lackluster for some of the cultural arts organizations. And I know that a study was commissioned by the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. Jaren, you probably remember this, and the Opera Association, and they asked people whether or not they felt comfortable about coming back in, and many people responded that they would come back in when and if there were provisions for masking, and when and if there was going to be some other kind of COVID implementation done, temperature and things of that sort. And 10% of the people said they don't care what you do, they're never coming back. Never coming back. 10%. 1 out of every 10 people who used to attend the orchestra regularly and who would attend the opera regularly have just said, we're not doing it anymore. We don't feel it's worth the risk. And that is scary. So, I know Mojo's sort of gone dark. I hope that she's okay there. But I hope that that is not to be the case, because, that 10% can really make or break a company's season. And I think maybe, Ron, you deal with the arts on WWNO all the time. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that is exactly one of the reasons. I mean, what you just said is shocking and news to me, but it is one of the reasons we do Culture Collision. It's just at the most basic level to inform people, introduce people to the range of the arts here in New Orleans. And we make it easy. We make it easy thanks to this year, thanks especially to JPAS that is just underwriting so much of this. We don't charge anyone to come in.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make it easy for people to come and find out what kind of arts and culture, music, dance is available. We don't charge very much at all for the organizations to participate. And this year it's free. So thank goodness for that. We're all just trying to, let's get started once again, get back to where we were, and make it easy for any kind of artistic endeavor to be seen and heard. I do want to mention one thing. We didn't talk about the humanities, so you'll even find libraries at Cultural Collision. Jefferson Library, New Orleans Public, the Historic New Orleans Collection, the Louisiana State Museum. I know I'm venturing from libraries into museums, and the World War II Museum too, and the Jazz Museum will be there. So
that's quite again a compendium of different representations for the arts, and like you said, that's something that you don't see often, that those kinds of organizations will be side by side with one another. So again, what time does it start on Wednesday?
Starts at 5:30.
So and again, I assume that because it's going to be a JPAC, that they'll just use that parking lot and just pull into the parking lot.
I'm so glad you reminded me to mention free parking.
Yes.
So once you get yourself there, there is a big lot for a lot of cars.
Okay, yeah. And anybody who's been there knows that it was adjacent to, Zephyr Field as well, and that I call it Zephyr Field, but obviously the Zephyrs haven't been here for a while, but it's what I think the name most people would associate with it, rather than the Shrine on Airline, which is a rhyming scheme that people like to use. I still say,
it's Zephyr Stadium.
Yeah, right. That's what I think in most people's mind, would be that. And again, it starts at 5:30, and does it go longer than 3 hours, or is that about right?
It ends at 8.
Ends at 8.
Yeah.
So about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. With performances throughout the time, and if Marisa could come back, and if we could hear her, she was trying to come back, and I tried, and she keeps losing it. I would say, Marisa, if you're listening right now, maybe you could use that link, just copy that link to a laptop or perhaps a desktop with a microphone and a camera attached, or maybe borrow somebody else's phone and see if you can, get on that way, because I'd love to be able to hear you better. We could see you fine. It's just the communication level was not up to snuff. And I actually saw her come back in the room, in the background, if you will, in what we have, you might call it the green room, the backstage area. But anyway, she lost connection again, and that's why she sort of is not here with us. But that's okay. We will carry on. And again, hopefully she hears what we're saying. And again, I don't know if there's anybody out there. I haven't seen any comments tonight, so I guess they're being quiet. But this is not one particular organization that's being represented. It's a multitude of organizations, and they're all interested in reaching out to New Orleans, and I would go ahead and say to the greater New Orleans area, the Metairie, Jefferson Parish area. Kenner is included in that. And really trying to reach out to as many disparate groups within New Orleans who are interested in the arts and interested in learning. Since you've got museums and you've got libraries involved as well, it's a fantastic opportunity. Is there a particular age that you would say is opportune? In other words, would you want to have kids come in, or at what age do you think the parents should think about maybe leaving the kids behind? No toddlers, right? Parents, if your children are interested in arts and music and performing, bring them.
Okay.
Bring them. I don't know what the right age would be. For some kids, it might be 6 or 8. Other kids, maybe they won't appreciate this until they're 15. Parents, be the judge. But it's for all ages, and it's for certainly teens and people in their 20s and 30s, and then it's for people in their 70s too. So it's wide-ranging.
Jaren,
you hit on something I want to emphasize. We have wanted to broaden the audience, but over these 12 years or 11 years, the hosts have, with the exception of NOMA, New Orleans Museum of Art, the first year, and one other year, it's always been in the Warehouse District, and that's been fun. But we're really glad to have it out at the JPAC, because hopefully there are people out in Jefferson and Kenner and beyond that will feel comfortable coming to JPAC and learn what's going on in Greater New Orleans in the arts. And there are going to be people, we hope, that will venture from the downriver Faubourgs and uptown and make their way out Airline Highway, past the Saints training facility and the Zephyr Stadium, and they're going to find it there. I remember the first time I drove out Airline to see JPAC. It's like, whoa, look at that. Look at that sign they've got. It's a nice electronic sign. And yes, you'll know you're there because the electronic sign is going to be flashing Culture Collision.
Okay. And I should also mention that a real easy way to go is the Earhart Expressway. You get off at the end of the Earhart Expressway and then take a right. And it's only a couple blocks down. I think it's the second stoplight down, maybe from the when you get off at David Drive or what becomes Power Boulevard later on, further on. But David Drive is what I believe it is there. So again, if you're coming in from downtown, just get on the Earhart Expressway. And I know they're doing construction on the other side of the Earhart, but not on that side. So if you're coming from downtown or coming from uptown, it's a hop, skip, and a virtual jump to get to the JPAC, Jefferson Performing Arts Center. Now, I wanted to ask Jaren before we get on. You've got a pretty well known group in terms of some of the principals, including yourself from the LPO. When you have them in, do you show like videos of what you've been doing, or do you just show your instruments at Culture Collision? What do you do to kind of like sell the product for what you're doing?
This year we're not performing. We're actually just going to be there to meet and greet and build community. We'll have flyers and brochures, of course, and I'll be there to share about what the events that we have coming up. I did want to say that I feel like Culture Collision is just this amazing opportunity to celebrate many things. One being the artists that have been so resilient through COVID. Like, it's amazing that we're all still here creating. And another thing being the organizations that have been so creative and so supportive of the artists to keep us going. I mean, there are so many musicians that just have been without work for so long. And it's just awesome what the organizations in our city have done. And then our city and our community that has continued to support the arts and the arts organizations. It's just really amazing. So I feel like the return of Culture Collision couldn't be at a more perfect time. And like, this is the time, y'all. Like, let's come out, let's celebrate each other, let's meet and greet and like just get to know each other better and just be thankful that we're all still creating.
Can I also say one thing that as a member of the LPO, this is the final season for Carlo Prieto Jr., right? And again, he's been for 17 years the artistic director through literal heck and high water, from time to time. He's brought us back. And I think that he probably figured he'd stay here maybe 10 years at most. And then he got sort of brought back.
For only 10 years, though.
Yeah, I think, but he's brought the LPO to Carnegie Hall. Yes. He's done some amazing things. He's exposed the LPO to music that was, his identity, his musical identity, a lot of Mexican composers, etc. And again, I have to say that we're going to miss him. And I have to say that the performance that you did at the Orpheum last Thursday night of the Mahler No. 1, the Billy the Kid by Copeland suite, and the Coda Yee's Galante dances for Galante. The whole program was fantastic. I mean, the Mahler was impressive, though. I mean, it was really, people couldn't stop clapping. And I think it's so wonderful to see a world-class symphony call New Orleans its home, and on top of that, be a symphony that funds itself. I mean, it is really, the classic example of the phoenix rising up from the ashes, from the former New Orleans Symphony, which had folded, and everybody was looking to have to start finding another job somewhere. So they got together and said, "Hey, why don't we fund ourselves? We can do this if we, and there have been people who have been in that organization now over 25 years, and they had several of the founding members who stood up, Jim Atwood and several other people. I think John Reeks was there, and several other people that Rachel Van Voorhees. I mean, people who have just been with the orchestra for so long and have been an integral part of it. And so I have to say,
and who sacrificed to make it possible for people like me to move to this great city, and are serving as an inspiration for orchestras across the country. I mean, the San Antonio Symphony, for example, shut its doors, and they are reemerging as the San Antonio Philharmonic. And let me tell you, I am sure they are inspired by the work that these musicians have done in New Orleans.
Yeah. So a lot of people, hoping that you'll continue to do well, because you have done it the right way. I don't know how it is, but you've amassed, whatever you want to say, a portfolio. You've got your principal. You're hopefully paying each other off of what monies you're raising, et cetera, and not trying to dip into that principal, because that's such a dangerous situation. And you were dormant, unfortunately for the better part of 2 years, finally able to come back. And I just want everybody to be encouraged to go out and see the LPO if you can, because it is a jewel of our city. And New Orleans has been sort of a different kind of a situation. And Ron, I think you'll agree with this, coming from the classical arts radio station, that in the past, the opera has been the big place where everybody goes, to be seen. New Orleans, because New Orleans was the first city of opera, 1796, I think it was, when we had the first opera that was here, and again in North America at least, and again the New Orleans Symphony Orchestra was sort of a latter day outgrowth of that. People used to go because of I think of our Creole culture, the French, the Spanish influence, of course, the Italian community, and of course everybody else who came in, who loved opera. This was really a center for opera. The Philharmonic, which came out after the symphony, was sort of a lesser known place for a lot of people to gather. And I don't know why New for than most other places, but maybe, like I said, because of our unique culture, the opera was always the place to go. And I think that they have done such a spectacular job changing people's minds about the Philharmonic, that I hope that people will respect. You all still do some of the recordings of the Philharmonic on WWNO. I know that at one point you were recording them and rebroadcasting. Is that still being done?
It hasn't been, but this year it is. This year we are recording the performances in the Orpheum, and we're now about to revive a program called LPO Radio Hour.
Okay.
It's give us a week or two, and then you'll be able to listen weekly. It's an hour-long program in which we take recordings from current performances. So like the first LPO Radio Hour in a couple of weeks, you're going to hear what was performed this past week at the Orpheum. And
fantastic.
Hosted by the new managing director,
Anwar Nasir. Yeah.
And with commentary, live commentary. Well, it's recorded, but it's a conversation between him and Carlos Miguel Prieto.
Wonderful.
And Maestro Prieto is talking about the music that he's selected for this final year of his term as conductor and music director. It's going to be a very good series, and every Tuesday night you'll be able to listen to that on Classical 104.9 FM.
Now, does that mean that the Mahler that we just heard on Thursday is going to be this Tuesday, tomorrow night?
No, not tomorrow night. We're not ready yet. Not ready
yet. Okay, but soon, hopefully.
Soon. Listen to WWNO.
Okay.
9.9, and you'll hear the announcements when we're going to start LPO Radio Hour again. It'll be a great revival.
All right. Well, I do appreciate that. I don't want to leave Brittany out of the mix now because we want to mention NOLA Project. Let me talk, Brittany. How many years now has NOLA Project been part of New Orleans? I think they arrived in 2005, right before Katrina, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no,
Now,
that's true.
when were you first exposed to them?
I actually was a fan of the NOLA Project before I moved to New Orleans in 2017. I did my first show with the NOLA Project in 2019 into 2020, the last show we did before everything shut down for COVID. And then in 2020, I became a company member. And in January, I started as co-artistic director. And right now, we are on our 18th season here in New Orleans. So
It's amazing. It's amazing. And
It's amazing.
I know they are what I used to call the young lions of theater, but they've gotten married. In some cases, had children. It's like they didn't have to stay in New Orleans, and of course, some of the company members have sadly left for greener pastures to spread their artistic wings, as it were. I know Kristen Wittersheim and Sam Dudley and a couple of other people who have been, but you've still got people who are here doing some fantastic work with the company, and in some cases with other companies.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're also, constantly adding new members. We'll have some new members to announce soon, which is very exciting. And yeah, we're growing, we're developing, we're making changes to make sure that we better serve the city of New Orleans and our active members of the community here. So it's, time moves on, we get older and we get wiser, and we all grow and change.
Okay, now you've been a relative newcomer with the company. You admitted that as much, but you rapidly rose. Your stock obviously is held in high esteem by the members of the company. So my question for you is, did the COVID pandemic cause the company to rethink its either its role model or its mission statement, or what was the outcome of that? Anything going on that we should need to know about how you were affected?
Yeah, so we always, as a company, try to annually re-examine the language around our mission statement and our other commitments to each other as a company. But one thing the slowing down of the pandemic did allow us to do, it allowed us to really examine how we are positioned within New Orleans, how we treat each other, and it gave us the space to see if our work was effective and healthy for us. And so what we've done is, one thing, we've increased the pay for all of the artists that we hire. We are committed to having more equitable and diverse productions. I know this season and in seasons moving forward, we are striving to have at least half of our season be written by Black people, Indigenous people, or writers of color. We succeeded this year because we have Craiglisted by Sheree Bohannon, and she's a new playwright who has a fantastic play that we actually did a rough drafts reading of a couple years ago. And then with Everybody by Brandon Jacobs Jenkins. And we also are doing our first season where our female directors outnumber our male directors. So, right.
Okay.
So
right.
we're growing, we're developing. But one thing for me is I want to make sure that we provide a welcoming theater space for the New Orleans community, and that we provide a healthy place for our artists to express themselves and to explore their art. So
And how is the relationship with you and the New Orleans Museum of Art going?
It's going great. We love working with them. Our offices are housed out of NOMA. 3 of our 4 productions are being put up at NOMA. We love doing work in their sculpture garden. And we are excited to do the first play in their Lapis Center. Last year we did a couple of readings over the summer in the Lapis Center, and I know AJ consulted on some of the design elements for that, and for the amphitheater in the new sculpture garden. And it's always a good time for our performers and for our audiences. And honestly, we couldn't ask for a better relationship to have.
Well, again, I'm really happy, as I said, to have you represent NOLA Project tonight, because, Andrew Larimer, who was the founding artistic director, whose idea from up in the New York area, I guess, with one of the major schools up there, decided to come down here, and he dragged a whole bunch of people with him out of New York, and AJ and other people, were here, and after they arrived, it wasn't that long afterwards that Katrina happened, and I think they had done the Cripple of Innisfree. Is that right? The Cripple Inishman, maybe. And all of a sudden, it was time to get this lake off my house. Yeah. So, the fact of the matter is that they stayed even after being, tested with Katrina and all of that. They decided to make New Orleans their home, and it's commendable. They did it without a brick and mortar edifice. That is one thing that they can be proud of, unlike places that like Southern Rep and some of the places like Le Petit and even Rivertown theaters, who have to deal with physical structures, et cetera, and insurance, and I mean, I'm sure that a lot of the companies would envy the record that you all have had with no brick and mortar. So that's fantastic.
We love not having a space. It allows us to be so flexible and creative with where we produce stuff.
And I should mention too that if I'm not mistaken, the company also got 2 awards from the American Theater Wing. Isn't that right? Did you all get?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's right there. Coming from your fellow actors and producers, that they are recognizing the really great work that you are doing and giving you money as a result of your fantastic work, which is always nice. Always nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, Jaren, thank you for being with us tonight. Again, Lyrica Baroque. Can you tell me real quick, run down one more time your program that you're going to be doing, that you'll be talking about, just in case somebody can't make the Culture Collision this Wednesday?
Yeah, so we're doing our winter concert. It's an annual event.
December the 15th, right?
December the 15th at Christchurch Cathedral. It's free, just a suggested donation if you can. We would love to see you there.
And what else for the rest of the season? Have you got anything else that you can tell us about?
We're going to do a really wonderful spring program in May. It's still in the works, so I don't want to share too much, but it's going to be French themed and wonderful. Okay,
all right. That's got me going already. Ron, anything that you wanted to add? In terms of what people can expect from Culture Collision? I think we pretty much covered it.
It's casual. It's fun. All ages welcome. It's free. There's free parking. You can come early and go to dinner, or you could eat early and then go to Culture Collision. 5:30 to 8, 6400 Airline Highway, the still new Jefferson Performing Arts Center.
Yeah, in case anybody doesn't remember exactly where it is, 6400 Airline Drive, and that's such a beautiful picture. You think that probably is a painting. No, that's a real picture of the JPAC, and again. They call it the beautiful picture because it is really beautiful. And again, Brittany, I can't thank you enough for being with us tonight. You did a good job of explaining what the NOLA project is all about. And again, I'm sorry that we had problems with Marisa Joseph. Mojo, though, I think we could hear from what she was saying. She was representing JPAS. And hopefully, if you get a chance to go to jpas.org, you can check out all their season. They start right now. They're doing Sweet Potato Queens in West Wego, which is a fantastic fun event, musical, written by Melissa Manchester, music wise, Sharon Vaughn doing the lyrics, and the book written, believe it or not, by the guy who some people know from the Pina Colada song, and also from the musical Mystery of Edwin Drood, Rupert Holmes. So those of you who have not had a chance to see Sweet Potato Queens, get your tiaras on, get your pink and green outfits on, and your pink boas, and get down to the Teatro Wigo. That's where it is. And I'm sure Dennis Asaf will be there to welcome some of the people. And by the way, those of you who are Melissa Manchester fans, she will be in the last weekend, which I believe is 2 more weekends to go, that she'll be in with Sharon Vaughn, who's the lyricist. Sharon's out of and Melissa Manchester is out of Los Angeles. So they're coming to New Orleans to revel in this production. And by the way, the lead singer, I'm going to tell you, does a fantastic job. And Jill Connor Brown, who wrote the books, is a performance. She drives down from Jackson with her retinue, and she's got a group of people who follow around with the boas and everything else. And if you just got to see it to believe it, it's wonderful. So again, I want to thank everybody for being here. And then next month, JPAS, Mojo would appreciate me saying, is going to be doing In the Heights, the Lin-Manuel Miranda Best Musical of the Year from 2008. And I know that everybody who's going to see that is going to be just amazed at what Dennis and everybody's done at JPAS. So let's let everybody go. It's already time for me to say goodnight. Thank you, Jaren. Stay just for a second or two. I'm going to just ask you to stick around so I can say good night to you. And Ron, thank you for being with us as well. This is Alan Smason again, wishing you and yours a very good night. Again, NOLA Theater Talk. We broadcast to the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, which you can check it out later on. If you're not a member of the group, you can join for free. We also have it on theatercriticism.com's Facebook page. That's the support page, not the actual website where we have reviews. And again, my own YouTube channel. For everybody who is here tonight, including Mojo, who's missing, and Amy Kirk-Duvoisin, thank you from JPAS. We do appreciate your being with us, or in case Amy wasn't able to make it, but she was here in spirit. We want to thank you all for making this a great show and having a little bit of opportunity to talk about Culture Collision. And as usual, I will see you at the theater.